Welcome into a special live edition of Locked On Astros. I'm H-Town Wheelhouse. We're here live at Legend Sports Grill in Leak City, Texas. And we are going to talk about keys to the victory in Game 6 and how the Astros are going to get back to their third straight World Series on this edition of Locked On Astros.
Welcome to Locked On Astros, your daily Astros podcast. Here are your hosts, Eric the Man Heisman and Brett H-Town Wheelhouse Chansey.
We are Locked On Houston Astros, and we hope that you join us for a daily Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Heisman. Find me on Twitter at Eric Talk Stros. Find the show at Locked On Astros, your team every day. Brett, where can you find you when you're not eating at Legends Bar and Grill?
You can find me at H-Town Wheelhouse on X, Instagram, and TikTok. You can find me at Stros411 on X, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. Always positive, always Stros.
Guys, thank you for making Locked On Astros podcast your first listen every day. We have a whole bunch of everydayers, people that listen to our podcast every day, and after every game, after everything that happens. And we thank you for becoming everydayer. Go and subscribe to us on YouTube. Make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcasts. Check out the Locked On Astros podcast. And are we excited for this game? Are we ready for Game 6? Crowd in background, are we ready for Game 6 of the ALCS?
Yeah.
All right, I think they're ready a little bit.
I think they are ready. Look, I was up in Arlington a couple days ago, made the trek. It was a 19-hour day. And you want to talk about a manufactured fake crowd. They pumped fake crowd noise in. They led cheers like it was a seventh grade pep rally. In Houston, it's all organic. And I know they get on to us for the crowd noise at Minute Maid. But look, we've been there, done that. We got the T-shirt. But it is very important tonight that we get started on the right foot tonight, Eric. Framber Valdez is an ace. Lately, he has not pitched like one. We know that for him, it is between the ears. It has nothing to do with the talent, but everything that he does mentally on the mound. And so tonight, later on in our last segment, I'll talk about H-Town Wheelhouse's 3 keys to victory. But I like the way they showed up and showed out in Arlington. All hope seemed to be lost after Mr. Garcia decided to pick a fight with Maldonado, to which Garcia has not been suspended or fined.
He's not going to.
He won't, but he's the only one that touched an umpire twice, went back into the fight, and pushed Maldonado, but I digress. The fix is in. MLB hates the fact that the Houston Astros continue to win. Eric, you called it the Astros League Championship Series. Am I correct?
Yeah, they still need to win it, but they're in good position being up 3-2. They have Framber Valdez. I know he has not pitched well this postseason, but he has pitched well in the postseason in big situations before. So I'm not too worried about what he's going to do. I think we've seen him in big games before. Last year, we saw him limit the Phillies and with a big win to clinch the World Series against the Phillies last year in the World Series. We also saw him against the Red Sox in Game 5 of the 2021 ALCS. He has been in these big game moments. So, yes, he has not shown up this year. I don't know what has been the deal with him this year. But overall, I think that Framber Valdez knows what's on the line, and he knows that we want to save Christian Javier for the World Series.
Yeah, exactly. And the plan is to win Game 6. The plan isn't to, we've got 2 chances to get it done. We want to get it done, send the Rangers home so they can go to their local sports bars and watch the Astros play in the World Series. It looks like, Eric, the Phillies just took a 3-2 lead over the Diamondbacks. And if the Snakes can't get over the hump in Philadelphia, we might have, if the Astros take care of business, we will have a rematch of the 2022 World Series. And let me tell you, I thought that Rangers crowd was ruckus and tough. I would not want to go to Philly this year, especially after we beat them last year. After getting a beatdown in Philadelphia, we put a no-hitter on them, and then we came here, and Yordan Alvarez hit that baseball, and I heard NASA spotted it, and it's the reason for the recent meteor shower that we're going to experience.
Yes. So, I think Framber Valdez is going to step up in this game. And I think the big topic before today's game was what's going to happen in lieu of what happened in Game 5. There's a lot of tensions after that game. There's been a lot of conspiracies going out there. I even heard that Martin Maldonado, it was the master chess player, and he basically had Brian Abreu throw at Garcia on purpose because he knew that it was going to rally the Astros, and the Astros were going to come back and win. But I just don't get that because the Astros knew the rules.
Yeah.
They knew that if they threw at him intentionally in this situation, there's a chance that he could get suspended. And yes, he did appeal, and they're going to hear the appeal before the game on Monday. Hopefully, there's not a game on Monday, but Game 7. So we'll see what happens in that situation. But he will be available for tonight's game. So Brian Abreu will be available because he did go ahead and file the appeal. But what's going to happen from there? Is he going to miss, let's say we do go to Game 7. Will he miss that game? And would he miss Game 1 of the World Series? There's a lot going on here. But it's just funny how you hear even Bruce Bochy saying that, oh, yeah, I think that Dusty Baker stayed in the dugout to basically ice McCart a little bit longer.
No. Here's the mistake you made, Mr. Bochy, Mr. Experienced World Series winner. You pitched to Jose Altuve. Hey, crowd in the background, do you pitch to Jose Altuve? No.
Let's do a Jose chant.
Jose. That's right. So look, here's the deal. 60 minutes ago, Chandler Rome reported that Brian Abreu has officially appealed his suspension. The suspension is held in abeyance to during the appeal. So Abreu is available to pitch in Game 6.
Right.
The appeal hearing will take place tomorrow. So his availability and potential, like you said, is Game 7,
right,
which is in doubt. So let's not even worry about a Game 7.
But then, if he misses 2 games, that's 2 games of the freaking World Series.
If he misses,
World Series,
but I don't want a Game 7 just so Brian. Look, guys, we are not built around one guy. We do know that Brian Abreu is one of the most dominant relief pitchers in the game. We know exactly why MLB suspended him. If it was someone like Rafael Montero, I highly doubt they suspend him. You know what I'm saying? I can't help but think the bias from the journalists, the bias from the media. Look, MLB set this up a long time ago, and I'm not playing the victim role. If you have a pulse, you have blood coursing through your veins, you know that because in 2017 we beat Boston, we beat New York, and we beat LA, we upset the big dogs. And that's why they'll never forgive us. But you know what, Eric? I always say this. They hate us because they ain't us.
Well, if the Astros really mastermind this whole hit-by-pitch to rally the comeback victory in Game 5, they would have brought in Ronel Blanco in that situation. And because
True.
Who cares? If he misses.
Hey, Ronel, go. And so this is something we haven't talked about. When they threw at Dubon, they threw at his head.
Right.
We hit him in the shoulder. I mean, come on, Adolis. We know you're taking all those roids. Surely they didn't hurt your shoulder. And maybe that's where you got your shot. I'm just saying.
Yes, Abreu did appeal.
Yeah.
Alex is asking online, did he appeal? Yes, he did appeal. And like we said earlier, it's going to be heard tomorrow before a potential Game 7. So hopefully we won't have to play Game 7. But if it is upheld or if he does have to serve the 2 games, that means he could potentially miss 2 games of the World Series.
That's right. It'll be
Game
immediately.
7.
But Eric, they've never made anybody on a suspension during the playoffs serve the year of the playoff. They've always made it. It is a new rule.
Right.
So was that in the
last CBA? Yes.
Was that in the last CBA? Yeah. Okay.
And this is actually in the playoffs. This hasn't happened.
Oh, okay. So that's why they didn't just change it. This
Right.
isn't okay. So they set a new precedent in the CBA before all this stuff went down. Now, this is what's interesting too. If you watch our special ALCS post-game press conference edition, they asked Dusty, were you managing, did you make that decision to bring in Singleton, to bring in, Diaz, or did you plan that before? He's like, no, man, I had that planned way before the action happened. But we all know Dusty should have done the whole Bobby Valentine thing with the mustache and the glasses and kind of concealed his identity in the dugout. But That was a great move. John Singleton, we haven't given, look, 3 guys we need to give credit to for that game. John walk. Diaz getting the hit. Gray Kessinger with the amazing catch. If he doesn't catch that ball, tie ball game right there. And so those 3 guys came in.
Thankfully, he's a little bit taller than Jeremy Pena. Otherwise, we'd be in trouble.
Dude, and we I had the honor of interviewing Gray Kessinger 3 days before he got called up. He is a tall dude. He is athletic, and he's a very good player. He just hasn't had the opportunity to go out there and really flash the leather. But in that moment, I guarantee his heart was pounding through his chest. If you notice when he grabbed the catch, he didn't even look up. He reached and was like, I hope I get it, and landed in his glove. So good job, Kess.
Yes, so definitely this is going to be a very tense game. I know a lot of people would be like, okay, if Game 5 had that many fireworks, what's going to happen in Game 6 with the Rangers with their backs against the wall? I mean, because they could be eliminated tonight. And I know that Nathan Eovaldi, he's a good pitcher. He did shut the Astros down in Game 2. But that was at Minute Maid Park. Now here we are back in Minute Maid Park. But also Framber Valdez did have that bad start. He gave up the 4 runs. Part of it was the double error he had. So maybe he just needs to have a better start. So the Astros offense can't constantly come back from behind. And
that's where a lot of their losses, and we talked about this on the show. Everybody's like, what's going on with that home? Well, in 32 of the 42 losses recently, they fell behind first. And like you said, they don't play well when they're playing behind, which is still kind of shocking because of the amount of talent that this team has. I think it's less about them giving up runs and more about them not getting into the pitcher early enough, because they would go in and they would score 3 or 4 runs, but you're down 5-3 in some of those games. Or they would score 1 run and you're already down 3-1. And so as long as Framber can keep his emotions in check, as long as he can hit the strike zone, and we need Eovaldi to make mistakes. The kid from Alvin, the homegrown kid, the same high school that Nolan Ryan went to, we need him to have one of his worst performances of his playoff career, because he's a pretty darn good playoff pitcher.
Yeah. A lot of people online are asking, well, why didn't Leclerc get a warning about throwing at Dubon? Why did Garcia not get suspended for touching the umpire? And my best answer is, you don't know, say. I really don't know. I really have no answer. It's baseball. It's Rob Manfred has made a decision. Let's go after Houston Astros. And I'm not saying that there's something going on here, but they decided to go after, because there's no intent there. It was just a bad pitch. And yes, Abreu is a great pitcher. He has great command. But even the best Hall of Famers, I've seen people across baseball, former pitchers, come out and say, yes, we have good command, but sometimes it slips out of our hand. We make mistakes.
And it's not like they were fishing for mistakes or looking for mistakes, but everyone said it wasn't intentional. Every one of these pundits that typically don't say good things about the Astros, they all said it wasn't intentional. Big Papi and Derek Jeter and even A-Rod, all those guys after the game were saying it didn't really make sense why they announced the suspension or what's going on here. And all I can say is, because it's a new rule and they want to set the standard now, maybe they're trying to send a signal because they don't want things to happen further on. But what will be interesting is if a Rangers pitcher hits an Astros batter, will that pitcher get thrown out immediately, or will he get warnings? Because if he gets a warning, I guarantee you thought Dusty Baker was mad last night. Because they asked Dusty, what did you see? He said, I don't know. I was seeing red. I couldn't even see straight. And I love it. I don't know about y'all, but Dusty gained some major points with me last night in that game. I respect the heck out of Dusty. He's got more years in baseball than I probably got life. But Dusty Baker last night stuck up for his team and wasn't putting up with the BS last night from the umpires. And that right there, Marty Maldonado was right. That ignited a fire. And you awoken a sleeping giant. And you've got to use more than stones to kill this giant, the Houston Astros.
Yes, and I know a lot of us have watched the movie For the Love of the Game. Billy Chappell was going out there trying to throw a perfect game. And at one point he said, I don't know if I have anything left. And Gus Sinski said, you just go throw whatever you got. whatever's left, and we'll do the rest. And that's what Farmer Valdez needs to do today.
Yeah.
He needs to just clear the mechanism.
Empty the tank.
Just go out there, forget everything else, forget the crap that's out there, and just pitch like he's been doing for the past 2 seasons. And he can get the job done. And this is one of the best pitchers in baseball when he's on. And yes, the last 2 starts, he has not been on. And Dusty Baker, to your last point, I think that a lot of fans have said, why doesn't Dusty get pissed off? Why doesn't he get thrown out? He literally got himself thrown out by throwing his hat.
And he refused to leave the dugout. And they said, what was your conversation? He said the umpires were like, well, he's not leaving. And he said, I wasn't leaving because I was not going to put up with what was going on the field. So, Eric, we've got to get to Eovaldi.
Where are we at, by the way?
What do you mean?
Where are we at?
Oh, we are at Legend Sports Grill in League City, Texas, off of Main Street, 6011 Main Street. Come down. They've got great food. The manager, the owner, the GM, they all said, we want you to come in. We want you to do a live podcast after I spoke with them. So they welcomed us here. Hey, do we have a crowd behind us? Let's go, Astros. Let's go, Astros. All right, we got a big ruckus crowd here, and it's going to get bigger, and it's going to get louder. So if you're going to come up here, you better get here now and get a table. The food is great. They got cold brews. Hang out with your friends. I mean, we're having a blast here, right, Eric?
Yeah. And we are the Locked on Astros podcast. We are on YouTube. Go ahead and subscribe to us. Make us your first listen on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you listen to your podcast. Check out the Locked on Astros podcast. My name is Eric Heisman. He is Brett Chansey, and we are going to talk more about today's game specifically. We've been focusing more on Game 5, and we've been talking about Farmer Valdez. Nathan Eovaldi, he is kind of a unknown at this point. Yes, he pitched really good against the Astros last game, but the last time he faced them in the regular season, it wasn't so great. So during the postseason, he is 3-0 with 24 strikeouts and 19 2/3 innings pitched. He has a 2.29 ERA. This is a tough cookie. So the Astros have a big job in front of them. And you want to hear the lineup for today? Dusty Baker is putting his A lineup out there. Altuve is leading off. Michael Brantley is batting second. Bregman, Alvarez, Abreu, Tucker, Dubon, Pena, and then Martin Maldonado, the 3D chess player, is batting ninth.
That's right. So, Eovaldi overall in his postseason career, with that 7-3 record, he's not the Eovaldi like you talked about that we showed when he was coming off the IL. And he has been sharp. He has the ability to strike out. If the Astros can jump on Eovaldi early, or they can force him to work the count where if he's throwing outside of the zone and they don't expand it, and they get walks, and they can up his pitch count, that's going to be huge. And then here in a second, I want to give y'all my 3 keys to an Astros victory. But they definitely have to jump on him early, Eric. I think you've got to put a cricket number up on the board. I wouldn't mind even a solo home run in the bottom of the first. Maybe Jose Altuve lead off with that, even Alex Bregman. But Michael Brantley being in here, this is what's interesting. When I was at Game 5, Brantley was taking BP. Every ball he hit was out of the park.
Right.
He didn't hit one line drive. And so he's feeling pretty good, and I understand why they sat him. Thankfully, they didn't need him. Tonight, Michael Brantley will be ready.
Yeah, definitely. And so I think that to answer your thing, the team that gets the lead in this series first
That's right.
seems to win. Now, also, the road team seems to win. We don't want to make this the certain World Series. I don't want to say the year because we all remember that year. We just say Baby Sharks. But we're going to go ahead and try to break this win streak here.
Oh, yeah,
let's just say, forget the road record. Let's go ahead and whoever scores first, let's hope they win. And let's hope it's the Astros.
Now, this is what everybody's forgetting because we have recency bias and it's what have you done for me lately type of mentality. I get it. But we've had so many walk-off hits. We've had so many victories in this ballpark. My son and I were in the stadium when we clinched Game 6 against the Philadelphia Phillies. This team knows how to win at home. And this team, I think, is in a different place than they've been all year with even this home losing streak or whatever you want to call it. I have full confidence that the Astros come out tonight take care of business, get on top, stay on top, and we don't even see a game 7. Of course, that is the perfect scenario.
Hopefully.
Yeah. So, Eric, I want to give my 3 keys of victory tonight, and then what I'm going to have you do is I'm going to have you kind of expand on them or add to them as you see fit. So I went ahead and put together H-Town Wheelhouse's 3 keys to victory tonight, and key number 1 is this: Fromber must control his emotions and not overthrow. If you know anything about Fromber Valdez, it's a mental game, and when he tries to throw too hard, he misses the zone. Number 2, the Astros need to get to Eovaldi early, score in the first, build on that lead from innings 2 to 5. And then key number 3, the bullpen continues to hold the Rangers' offense at bay. That's what they've done when they've been successful for the 3 away games, the 3 games in Arlington. Now, let me give y'all some encouragement, Astros fans. The Astros only lost 2-0. The Astros lost 5-4. I mean, they didn't give up a ton of runs. When we went to Arlington, we scored a lot more runs. They barely beat us. We're 1 or 2 hits away, 1 or 2 mistakes away from winning both of those games. So it wasn't a beatdown in H-Town, but it's going to be a beatdown tonight in H-Town. And I think the Houston Astros are going to take care of business.
Well, I know before the series, I said Astros in 6, and a lot of people are like, no, it's B4, it's B5. And the Rangers are a tough team.
They are a tough team.
And we saw that in the first 2 games, and I think the Astros took care of business on the road like they typically do. So I think that they're going to go and finish it off tonight, and I think it's going to be I think it's going to be like a 7-2 Astros win.
7-2. I'm not going to predict the score. I'm just going to say the Astros are going to win. I don't care how they win. I don't care if it's 1-0. I don't care. I hope it's 15-2. I want the Rangers to go home because, look, I said this on Fox 26. We're the big brother. They're going through what we call baseball adolescence. They don't understand, and they don't know how to handle success. That's why ultimately the Astros have the upper hand in this situation.
So you're saying they're the 2015 Houston Astros? Not quite ready yet?
They've never been quite ready. I mean, have you seen their past? Have you seen how much failure is up there? I mean, they might as well be the Cowboys, 8-8, think they're going to the Super Bowl. Whatever. Hey,
you can find them at H-Town Wheelhouse.
Whatever. Oklahoma, South Oklahoma, baby. That's what we call it.
All right. Somebody asked earlier who's throwing out the first pitch tonight. It's going to be Cheryl Swoops. We all know who she is, so that's going to be a great
WNBA champion for the Houston Comets, right?
Yes. And
Four-time WNBA
guess
champion.
who's doing Let's Play Ball?
Who?
Andre Johnson.
Really? Andre Johnson. That's awesome.
Let's play ball.
Well, hey, we are here live at Legend Sports Bar here in Leech City, Texas. We got a big crowd behind us. The crowd is building. We got a ton of people here. If you can hear my voice in the building, everybody say, "Let's go Astros! Let's go Astros!"
Locked on Astros.
All right, everybody, on the count of 3, everybody say, "Locked on Astros." 1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's right. Thank you. Subscribe to our YouTube channel. Help us get to 10,000 subscribers tonight. If you do, I'm going to go absolutely bananas.
All right.
I don't know what that means, but it's going to be
Are you
good.
going to start taking your shirt off?
No, I will not streak. This is not an old school thing. No.
All righty. So, yeah, this is going to be an interesting game. And I think the first 3 innings will kind of be the telling point for how this game's going to go. That's basically how the whole series transpired. But the craziness that we saw in Game 5, I think we're going to be talking about that game for the rest of our lives. Just what happened with how the Astros came back, how the Rangers came back, how the Astros came back. I just think that I love that Breaking Tea came out with a shirt that said Altuve, the shot that was heard all around Texas, because basically that just crushed Rangers fans' hearts. And I don't know if you saw the post out there. I can't say tweets anymore, but a lot of people were saying, "Oh, that was a little minor league or little league home run by Altuve."
Well, you built a little league park. I mean, yeah, okay, you built the park. Why are you complaining about his home run? Every home run that goes over a fence, doesn't matter where it is, it's a home run. So build a bridge and get over it, Dallas. I mean, Irving. I mean, I don't even know what city they're in. All right, hey. So look, for myself, for Eric Heisman. Well, I mean,
Okay, I guess we're ending the precinct.
yeah, man.
So yeah, I just think that the Astros need to go out there, take care of business. Maybe it's gonna be a rematch. That's gonna be interesting. And I think I'm more worried about the Phillies than I would be the Diamondbacks. So, but the Phillies, we beat them last year, so maybe we can do it again. But that would be interesting. These two teams know each other. Bryce Harper, he's a beast. Kyle Schwarber is breaking records out there. But you know what?
He also punts.
The Houston Astros are one of the best teams in baseball. And no matter what they do in the regular season, no matter how much you boo them, they're going to go out and do what they know how to do.
That's right.
Framber Valdez, it's all on you, buddy. You've got to go out there and pitch your heart out and do the best you can today. And we are the Locked On Astros podcast. Make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube. Make sure you come in every day. Somebody listens to our podcast every day. Go ahead and listen to us on Apple, Odyssey, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. Go and check out the Locked On Astros podcast. My name is Eric Heisman. He is Brett Fancy, and you can find us at Locked On Astros.
That's right.
And we will see you later. And go Spurs.
Y'all have a good one. Thanks for hanging out with us. Our YouTube channel coming every day or in those programs.